Hi, my name is Danny Brown. I'm the CEO of Myriad Real Estate Group, and today we're going to talk about why the real estate market isn't crashing. It's not crashing. I've noticed a lot of videos, well, they're always out there. There are these people that are predicting that the housing market is going to crash. They've been predicting that the housing market is going to crash since 2012. And I think that that is mostly due to the fact that these people are trying to be social media influencers, grow their YouTube channels, grow their Instagram profiles, because that's their mission. They're not actually in the market to help people or give them advice on buying or selling homes. Unfortunately, in our world, if it bleeds, it leads, right? So negative information gets a lot more attention than positive information and just boring information ultimately. And we want the housing market to be boring. We want home values to slowly increase. We want homes to be affordable. We definitely don't want a housing market crash. And I don't think that we are going to see one. Ultimately, the housing market is like any other market. It really just boils down to supply and demand. So right now, supply is super low. In Greater Phoenix, we've got about 8,700 homes listed for sale. For us to be in a normal market, we should have somewhere between 30 and 35,000 homes for sale. Now, granted, if we had 30 to 35,000 homes for sale in Greater Phoenix, home values would be coming down because the demand for housing just isn't there. But when you have depressed supply and depressed demand, they kind of cancel each other out. And right now, demand is a little bit above that supply, so we are seeing home values increase. We are only off the highs in Greater Phoenix, somewhere around 8 to 9%, and now we're starting to see those home values go up. And I predict by the end of the year in Greater Phoenix that home values will be positive in their appreciation, not negative. And it just boils again down to supply and demand. So let's talk about foreclosures. Everybody thinks that there's a foreclosure wave coming. In Greater Phoenix, year to date, there has been 900 foreclosures. In a normal year, there's over 10,000 foreclosures. So we are halfway through the year and we only have 900 total. We're nowhere close to a traditional market or a traditional city of foreclosures. We also don't have a lot of notice of trustee sale. So that is where the bank and the county notify a homeowner that they are in danger of going to foreclosure. So that is a leading indicator. Those are below historic norms. So people are in really good positions as it pertains to their home. And even in 2009, at the very worst of the housing market, there was 50,000. So we have a long way to go before we get anywhere close to that. And honestly, if we did see foreclosures increase, that would probably help the real estate market. That would bring these home values to something that's a little bit more affordable, give buyers more choices, and increase our days on market, which is good. It should take more than just a weekend to sell a home. When the days on market, one of my favorite analysts, Logan Monashami, always talks about when the days on market are a teenager, that is really, really unhealthy for the housing market. So we want there to be a little bit longer days on market. So having that extra inventory would be helpful. The other thing is most people have a ton of equity in their home. So if they are in financial distress, they will just sell their house. They're not just going to bury their head in the sand and go to foreclosure. They would sell their home, cash out, take that equity, and then turn into a renter. So I don't think that we are going to see a flood of foreclosures hit the market, especially when unemployment is at historic lows. You know, we've got 10 million job openings right now. I think there's something like 5 million people who are unemployed. So, you know, the math just doesn't work out to where we're going to see a lot of people just all of a sudden start defaulting on their homes. So let's talk about demand. So the buyers are there and we see it in the numbers. Anytime that mortgage rates come off their highs and get around 6%, that tends to be the inflection point. I've mentioned in other videos that we see an increase in purchase applications, which are people applying for mortgages when those rates get close to 6%, because it drastically increases their affordability, going from something close to a 7 to a 6. And what the media doesn't report on, and what most of these crash bros don't talk about, are sellers contributing towards buyers' closing costs to help them buy their rate down. That's happening and is very common in our marketplace. So most buyers are not paying the advertised rate for mortgages, they're buying that rate down. There's other programs that exist out there. Each mortgage company has different programs, and builders, which don't get talked about enough, have a huge advantage in our market because they have a lot bigger spreads, and you end up financing through the builder's lender, and they're able to buy your rate down too, getting you to something that is much more affordable. So none of this gets talked about in the buyer demand conversation. So the buyers are absolutely there, and we see them return to the market when those interest rates get close to 6. And it just consistently happens over and over again. So again, it just simply comes down to supply and demand. Supply is low, it's going to remain low. We're not just going to snap our finger and all of a sudden see a bunch of homes come to the market. It is a problem that is going to exist for many, many years before it works itself out. And our population, the average age right now is 34. And so we have a young population that all wants to be in homes. Not everybody wants to be a renter for the rest of their life. And so that demand is going to remain there. It's just a matter of affordability. And when those rates get close to 6%, we see that demand return to the market. In summary, I think it's really important when you watch these things to find out what the person on the video's motivation is. Are they just trying to be an influencer? Are they just trying to get licks? Yeah. Are they just trying to get likes and subscribers? If the answer is yes, and they're not really providing any value or have any skin in the game, then really take that with a grain of salt. My mission here is to provide you value, to provide you knowledge so that you can make the best decision for your family. Buying a home is expensive, and you need to do it when it's right for you and ignore all the noise. So when you have enough for a down payment and the closing costs, when you have 3 to 6 months cash set aside for reserves. So when you're in a position where you're financially ready, that's when you should buy a home. Otherwise, you should just ignore all of the pundits that are out there. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. And I'm not an influencer, but if you do feel motivated to leave a comment or give a like and subscribe, I appreciate it, and we will see you next time.